the city known as Jingajian or somewhere in Chinese province, it was pretty bad. Like I had copper or the old steel. They had steel or clay drain pipes because sometimes there'd be drain pipes, and they would be accumulating water and stuff. And there'd be this great big huge long pipe, and the leaves and stuff would go in there, and the cockroaches would go in there. And my people were saying if you go up and bump one of the drain pipes, there'll be this black line that just kind of comes out the bottom and goes out and goes for miles, from the cockroaches and stuff that were living inside the drain pipes, because the cockroaches would go inside the house and they would nibble at the rice and they'd get into the rice and stuff, and then they would go back up into the drain pipes and live up in there, or lived up. They said they live up in the rafters too. If you go up and look in the corners with a flashlight with the torch, they call it torch. With the torch back in the old days, you'll see little cockroaches, little shiny little shells up in there, and kind of try and stab them and kill them. My people were trying. They said they were trying. They tried hot steam up in there. They took a big steam hose and a big line, and there's actually photographs and film of it. But basically, they'll pull up a steam engine or a steam thing, a horse and cart and a steam thing, and they'll shovel and they'll get it nice and hot, and they'll run in a hose, and then they go up in there with a big thing, and they go. And try and flame them and cook them down a little bit, because the steam doesn't really hurt any of the wood or anything, and it would just make this, and the cockroaches go and die, and then and they'll go up to the pipes and they go and they said you'll see this big black blob like come out of the top, and then the black blob will go on the ground. There's film of it too. The black blob will go and you see the little cockroaches starting to crawl out, and you see the guy move the steam hose over and go just trying to kill all the cockroaches, because they were so, every pipe, every system was so infested. The water system was infested, the sewer system was infested, the drain pipes were infested, the rafters of the buildings were infested, the basements were infested. Like every nook and cranny of Jingajian had cockroaches everywhere. They're like, it's probably better just to dust off and bomb it. Just like boom, boom. Some cities were that bad, where they're trying to get the cockroaches down there, and they're like, there's not going to be an end to them. They're deep in the pipes. They're all over the place. They're in the ground. They're in the caves. They're in the mines. They're everywhere. I think they burrow in the ground and live there, and then they come out of the mud or something. And people were like, because there'd be like a water source and some stuff, and my people would watch them crawl across. I mean, in the old days, those things didn't scurry at the sight of light. They would wander at you. Look over, and there it is, looking at you on a fence post. Like the cockroaches would climb up the fence posts and just like look at people as they walk by. I mean, they had no fear. No, they're like, these guys have no fear. They're these great big jumbo-sized cockroaches basically. And they would just live there. And sometimes, the people would try to eat them or something, or cook them down or something, because, some people were starving, but it has free food. But basically, they said the cockroaches will crawl up on the fence posts and just look at you. And sometimes the kids will even feed them. Because they say, if you kick a bridge, they'll crawl out from underneath it and come up for their food. The British were telling me all about the cockroaches. The cockroaches in Jingajian and around in China were famous, and my people were going around with these steam carts. They call them steam carts. Basically, a horse pulling this cart, and then this big steam engine. They would have a coal box in the back, or another cart with coal, and they'd shovel it in, and they'd get the hose out, and they would go a hose and pipe, and they'd. I mean. It was a serious undertaking. It was it took them like 3 years to actually get it where it's okay, they're gone. And they were using flamethrowers and everything. I was like, they're like, maybe a flamethrower might do it. And I was like, all right, break out the flamethrowers. Flame them if you got them, if you got to. I was like, all right, full scale war on cockroaches. So they were pouring fuel down pipelines. They'd find a sewer line and whatever, and they'd pour fuel down it and light it up. Alcohol. They'd take the alcohol drugs and go glug, 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 and just tossing a torch and, trying to get rid of them because there were just too many of them. There were millions. There's no, trillion. They said there's probably a couple zillion of them around here. like cockroaches and fleas and stuff. So, like they're living in the woods. Like they were living in the trees. Like you'd go up and there'd be this cockroach. You know, I'm serious. They'd go up to the trees, and these trees would be just black. They said the trees are black with cockroaches. They're everywhere. You know, walk through the trees and like there's a tree and there's a cockroach on it. They're like, oh, flame it. Yeah. So they ran around with flamethrowers, just flaming trees and steaming trees, and yeah, it took like 5 years of hard labor, before we finally got the pests and the cockroaches cut down to where they're not everywhere anymore. So, because they were getting into the rice, they'd go into the food stores and they would go and eat the rice and stuff like that, and then you go scat scat, and they would do like all scurry, and stuff like that. So, that was basically Jingajen and around China. That's pretty much what it was like, and so it was a 5-year undertaking or 25-year undertaking of just killing them all off, removing all the food sources. I think I spent like $30 million or something like that. It was a lot. Back in the 1800s, it would have been like 30,000, but today is like, it was quite a bit of money. So.